almighty Black P Stone Nation are embedded firmly within the lore of U.S. street gangs. Many see them as Chicago's most powerful gang, and it's all because of its infamous leader, Jeff Fort, who's currently serving 168 years behind bars with no human contact for being a traitor against his own country, and striking a deal with Libyan revolutionary Colonel Gaddafi to commit terrorist acts on U.S. soil. And still to this day, the gang is alleged to betray even its own members. In August 2024, 5 BPSN members in Richmond, Virginia, pleaded guilty to the abduction and killing of Tyosha Mitchell. Allegedly being the highest-ranking female in the Norfolk, Virginia set, it's claimed that Mitchell wanted to turn her life around and agreed to being jumped out so that she could leave the gang. The ritual led to her being savagely beaten by 3 women for more than 30 seconds. But the torture didn't stop there. Just an hour after she made it home, the women, along with a masked man and another with a gun, showed up at Mitchell's apartment, where she was abducted, taken to a remote area off Old Williamsburg Road in York County, and executed. On May 6, 2023 at 6:30 a.m., a jogger called police after seeing Mitchell's body off the road into the woods. She had been shot 8 times to the head, abdomen, back, buttocks, and legs. Hezekiah Carney, Jamaica Langley, Donisha Goodman, and Acacia Jackson were quickly arrested and, according to media reports, the execution was carried out simply due to one of the gang members being jealous of Mitchell's relationship with one of the women's lovers. The murder of a fellow gang member over a petty love rivalry is a long way from what the almighty Black P Stone Nation originally stood for. It's a legacy that began at the St. Charles Institution for Troubled Youth in 1959, when Jeff Fort and Eugene Hairston helped to establish the Blackstone Rangers as a community organization for black youth in the Woodlawn area of South Chicago. By 1965, what started as a small group of neighborhood kids seeking protection from rival gangs quickly evolved into a powerful force with over 5,000 members, driven by Fort's relentless ambition. Claiming to seek legitimacy, Fort and Hairston are said to have duped Presbyterian minister, Reverend John Fry, into helping them secure a state charter for the Grassroots Independent Voters of Illinois, and used it to fraudulently obtain a $1 million federal grant intended for job training, which instead funded the gang's criminal activities. In 1966, Fort and Hairston had enough influence on the streets to unite 21 gangs under the new name Black P Stone Nation, solidifying their dominance in Chicago. However, their actions drew the attention of law enforcement, leading to convictions for them both for embezzling federal funds. Whilst in prison, Fort became the true leader of BPSN, and he and Hairston began to clash. Traditionally, members wear the colors red, black, and green, and are associated with specific symbols, such as the 5-point star, representing love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and a pyramid with one side showing 21 bricks that's said to refer to the main 21 founding fathers of the gang. Some of the most notable rappers affiliated with the gang include LEP Bogus Boys member G Count, Lil Bibby, and Shoota Shells, whose life in the BPSN ended with him dead in 2017. Real name Cedrin Doles, Shoota Shells had ties to the BPSN faction, Black Mob. His track, Death of 150, in 2017 caused controversy as he talked of Black Mob's feud with another BPSN faction, No Limit. 3 months later, Doles was getting into his car in the Auburn-Gresham neighborhood of Chicago when 3 men walked up to him and opened fire, shooting him multiple times in the head and torso. Cops recovered 43 shell casings near his body. An investigation revealed that cops reported that one of the suspects in the murder was rapper and No Limit member Mad Max, who himself was later shot dead in 2018. But the gang's biggest controversy is still linked to OG Jeff Fort, who, after his release from prison in 1976, converted to Islam, rebranded the gang as El Rukn, and changed his name to Abdul Malik Kaba. But cops believed the conversion to Islam was just a tactic to exploit restrictions on surveillance of religious groups. At the same time, the gang ramped up its operations, flooding the streets with cocaine and heroin. In 1983, Fort was nailed on drug trafficking charges and a 13-year sentence. But prison walls couldn't contain his influence as he continued to pull the strings through daily phone calls. Escalating his ambition for even more power, he was able to arrange a meeting with the controversial Libyan leader, Colonel Muammar al-Gaddafi. From prison, Fort orchestrated meetings between BPSN and Libyan officials to strike a deal to buy weapons and commit terrorist acts on U.S. soil for $2.5 million, the equivalent of nearly $8 million in today's money. In 1987, Fort was nailed for conspiring to unleash domestic terrorism, marking him as a traitor to his own country. He was hit with an 80-year prison sentence, and a year later, he was convicted of ordering a murder of a rival gang leader in 1981, earning him another 75 years behind bars. As for Eugene Hairston, in September 1988, he was gunned down outside the Ida B. Wells public housing projects. Hairston's supporters immediately blamed the El Rukns and accused Fort of ordering the murder. In response, the El Rukns held a press conference to deny any involvement, and despite the accusations, no evidence ever linked the El Rukns to Hairston's death. The case remains unsolved. In 2006, Fort was transferred to the notorious ADX Florence Supermax prison in Colorado, where he's been locked down under a no human contact order, cut off from the outside world. Despite his incarceration, the Black P. Stones remain a potent force in Chicago and beyond. Their legacy, entwined with the city's history of gang violence and socio-political struggles, continues to shape the narrative of gang culture in America.